Let me spell it out for you. Your question about
is confused.
Excuse
I don't
me.
think he really has understood what he's heard.
Lizzie, listen. Your question about your silly question, even after I made it clear that which version do you accept? Why do I say silly? Because I already stated every single reading of these 10 imams are authentic and they are acceptable. So you can come along with a million differences if you're able to. Listen,
you still haven't
Lizzie,
showed me exactly
Lizzie,
how they're authentic.
Lizzie,
You've not shown me. You've just
Lizzie.
repeated again and again. They're authentic. They're authentic. They're authentic. Just
What
by
you don't
repeating
understand
it
is this
doesn't
point.
make it authentic.
What
And
I'm
the
saying
fact that you have these two differences of meaning means that something has
we haven't
gone
touched
wrong
what the differences
along the
are.
way.
Okay, our brother has.
Not?
Okay, let me address that particular point. Okay, about authenticity.
Yeah, she's answered
The point.
Vocabulary means that you use something in the translation. If you've got different words for things, they don't necessarily
Yeah, right. But the point about.
words and they
Thank
have
you.
different meaning.
Yeah, very good. Now the point about authenticity, right? The point about authenticity, I'm sorry, is that he has been talking about change of transmission all this time, right? That is our criterion. We have two criteria for authenticity, okay? One is the oral transmission and the other one is the written transmission. On each of them, we have chains of transmission for all the different readings.
How
That
do you
is
know
our
those
criteria.
chains are reliable?
Because
That's
there
been my question.
are thousands
That's what
of
I was
books.
trying to
There
do.
are thousands of.
Pointing
No,
to their
wait.
names.
There-
How do I know those
wait,
people are
wait.
reliable?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
How do I
I'll tell you.
know
I'll
that?
tell
How
you.
do you know
I'll
that?
tell you.
You
I'll
don't
tell you.
know that.
I will
So
tell
if
you.
you ended up with
I will.
these results,
I will answer that.
it's very, very different.
I will answer that. I'll answer that. The way we know is the biographies of each individual in the chain of narration. The biography of each individual in the chain of narration is known. Has been examined from the point of view of the truthfulness of the narrator. If there's any doubt.
Oh, so that's their truthful character. So you can tell absolutely whether or not
No,
someone is
you
truthful
can't tell
character.
absolutely. What you can tell is you can tell within human knowledge. Okay, these are human means of transmission. Okay? The chains of transmission are human.
How can you really? How can you just look at somebody and
There is no
know that they're
in the whole realm of human.
Nobody is
there is-
totally truthful.
No, no,
Let's be honest.
well,
Let's be honest with ourselves.
Let's not be dishonest.
Perfectly truthful in character.
What you're being doing, okay, regarding honesty, what you're being doing is being dishonest about how history is done, how authenticity is established about
I don't
anything.
think I'm the one being
Yeah,
dishonest.
no, you're being. You see, because name me one thing. Name me one
As
thing.
long as they're truthful in character and pious Muslims,
No.
somehow everything that they transmit, it must be true.
No. That's
Okay,
the
the
only.
Bible is far
Lizzie,
more honest.
There's also
That was
the
precisely
issue.
what I was trying to
It's
educate
far
you
more
on.
honest about.
You don't have the Bible.
Yes, we do have the Bible.
Let's return. Let's return.
Okay.
Now listen,
And
listen.
It has
Now
disciples
listen.
of Jesus telling embarrassing
Lizzie,
stories about
rubbish.
themselves.
Let's talk
okay?
about the Quran.
That's much
rule,
more
the
authentic,
criterion
much
of
more-
embarrassment is a
it's
lie.
it's all-
There can be
Quran
no
is-
greater lie than the criterion of
It's glossed
embarrassment.
over about people's perfection and truthfulness, and it doesn't ring true. It does not ring true.
to accept some sort of transmission already from her own.
But let's come back. The reason why I was going through step by step of transmission history is to clearly answer those questions you eventually ask. How do we know they're trustworthy? How do we know they're reliable? But you want to
takes
know
time
the
to go through all of
differences. So what I was doing is
I want to
this.
know how you respond to the differences. Do you acknowledge the differences are there?
He himself has said that there are differences.
said that.
He said
He
there are
said
10
that
readings.
hundreds times.
He
You
said
have a
that there are 10
comprehension
readings.
problem.
He has a comprehension problem.
He
Listening
he
and
just said there are 10 readings. He said that about 20
Did I not
times.
say?
Then,
Okay, one
Do
question.
you not see
Sorry.
that there's
No.
that
One question I'm going to ask you.
theological problem?
I'm going to ask you one question.
There's a
there's no-
theological problem.
No.
If you want to be saved, if you want to do the will of Allah, and it's saying two different
No,
things,
you've got the wrong-
which recitation are you going to follow? Which
Lizzie,
one?
Lizzie,
Like,
do you want to
it's
know the answer? Any of them, all of them.
All of them.
And
Simultaneously.
they're
So,
not.
all
what you
simultaneous.
didn't know is this. I've been keep telling you is
All
this.
simultaneously.
Every single of these 10 recitation is mutawatir, is acceptable by the Muslims.
Mutawatir explain.
They must transmit it. Multiple chains of transmission. There's no doubt
Corroboration.
or any error
Corroborated
within it,
chains.
right? So
Okay.
what I was establishing is
But
this.
you're still saying there's one Quran. I'm sorry, you cannot have. You
Well,
can't
that's our
say there's
definition of the one
Lizzie,
Quran.
It's just totally
Our definition of the
Lizzie,
Quran is that
It's
which comes from
totally
Muhammad.
illogical.
Lizzie,
Well,
listen,
you say so.
let me give you an example.
Yeah, that's just you.
This Quran has a chapter called Surah Al-Fatiha. And this is recited by one of the Imams, Warsh. And this is how he recited it. And it is
And
recited.
it says,
Excuse me.
whatever it is, fought. And the other one says, were killed. That's two different
Surah
things.
Al-Fatiha, yeah?
Which one are you going to
In
believe?
Surah Al-Fatiha.
I don't know the numbers. I don't know.
Do you know what number Surah Al-Fatiha is? It's chapter 1.
Okay, yeah,
Simple
perhaps
one,
I
simple,
don't
So
know.
right, so don't confuse it, chapter 2, 3 and 4. So when I said chapter 1, so
Okay.
Imam
Let me
Warsh,
just give you, it shouldn't make a
Listen,
difference. It
listen.
shouldn't make a difference which
Lizzie.
surah it is. Okay, you can have
wrong?
Surah 210. What else could you have? Yes, this is what I was talking about. Surah 3, 146, fought and were killed. Okay, You could say Surah 34:17. We punish in the hafs in the warships. Get punished.
Can
Okay.
Brother.
In
Just
Surah
one
2,
person
in
speaking.
Surah 2, ayah 140, it says the haf says you say.
I've
and
heard
it
them
says
all
they
in your
say.
3 previous
it says they
videos,
say,
right?
Okay. It says Surah 2, 184, a redemption by feeding a poor man. And here it says a redemption by feeding poor men. Is it one man or is it poor men?
Do you want me to
There are
answer that?
lots of different.
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, but what we shall. Oh, here we go. Surah 2, 259.
carry on.
It's
No,
the
you realise
hafs,
what
we
it's
shall
here,
raise
yeah?
up.
Okay, you know what?
lots of
Give me
differences
1,000.
meaning
Give me
we
1,000.
shall make a
Sorry,
law.
that's not enough.
We shall
Give me
make a
1,000.
law.
Let her say
Give me
and then we can
1,000.
answer one.
There shouldn't really even be one.
Why not?
There shouldn't
Oh,
really
so
be
now,
one.
you see what?
If, as you were saying, there's
Lizzie,
one
You
Quran.
cannot define the
Now,
Quran for us.
that's
You can't
you
define
see,
for us what the
The
Quran
Quran
is.
is not from Lizzie. The
Yeah.
Quran is from the Prophet who
Yeah.
allowed. I'm
Who
reminding you
doesn't
again.
understand, who
Excuse
didn't
me.
seem to
What do you mean he doesn't
Lizzie.
understand? Maybe it's you who don't understand.
One text.
Lizzie, listen.
Maybe you don't understand the
Lots of
nature of the
different
Quran.
versions
The
of the
Quran does not
Quran.
have to
Okay.
follow
Let-
your
let-
rules
let-
as text.
let- one
And
person
yet,
speak.
you say it's
Lizzie.
the preserved tablets, not 7 preserved tablets,
Lizzie.
it's 1 preserved
The
tablet.
Quran does not have to
You
follow
a
your rules
theological
of what a
problem.
text is.
You have a theological problem with this one
If you
Quran business.
keep on talking,
And I do not think
if you
that
keep
you're
on
Muhammad. I don't think Muhammad
Lizzie.
really understood
Can
what
it-
he
let-
said.
You don't understand the
what
Quranic
you
text.
fail to realize is this. When the Prophet allowed to recite in different ways, were they exactly the same reading? Or were they reading it differently?
You tell me, they're reading it differently. And that's why he comes
Okay.
on and goes, oh,
Was
no
this
problem.
hang on, was
Sounds
this
like he just wanted to stop an argument.
excuse me? Was this difference difference
you
enough
can
to say
assume
there
too
were
much.
difference? Or were there no difference at all? There must be difference enough. When the 2 companions, Umar bin al-Khattab, Hisham bin Hakim, recited Surah Al-Furqan, when Umar noticed that he recites differently, was this
Did it bother?
significantly...
You're trying to say, did it bother the Prophet?
It obviously bothered them.
You're not listening.
Why did they went to Muhammad? Why
Listen.
did they go to Muhammad to ask
What I
for
am telling
clarification?
you is this. Do you understand from that narration that there was a significant difference enough to say there's a
Okay,
difference?
let me ask a question, okay?
Excuse me,
I
answer
think
the question
I think what
first.
you're trying to say is actually, when Muhammad heard these different recitations, that he thought, actually, there's not much in it, I'll just let them go, okay?
No,
Not at
wrong,
all.
wrong
No,
again.
no, no,
Let me correct
no.
you again. These companions, what did they say? I learned directly from the Prophet. So, what happened? The Prophet taught them.
Yeah, why did he
Wait,
teach them 2 different
slowly,
things?
excuse me.
Good
Because
question.
God gave
Good
them two
question.
different things.
Sure,
No,
what
no,
the
this is
right
from
one
God.
was. So
This is
he
from
did
Why
it
are we
2
confusing
different
several
ways.
issues? First issue is this. Did
This is from
he,
God.
Interesting.
This is from God.
Lizzie, first education for you is
no,
this.
No, I think you should ask these questions that you don't want to ask.
I am answering.
Because
Why
I've
would
asked
he
this
teach
question.
the kind of the same thing?
Lizzie,
It's an mention. It's an
I
mention.
am answering.
Okay.
So, for your learning, for your education, why did the Prophet allow companions to recite the Quran in 7 ahruf? The
I
Prophet
don't know.
explained
You'll
it.
have to. I don't know. Somebody explain to me why did he allow that?
It's
I
there in
think
our
it's
tradition.
very odd.
It's there in our tradition for 1,437 years. Did you
So
not
why
know
did he
this?
allow it?
Hang on.
He's about
Do you
to
know?
say.
Do you
He's
know
about
this?
to say.
Do you know about this? Or is it going to be a new research and discovery?
Okay, well, just tell me, go on. Then.
Okay.
Why did he
hang on.
allow it? Why
Do you
did he allow
do
it?
you know? I want you to say yes. I do. I don't.
I don't think I do. Go on.
Right.
Good.
Educate me. You're
Good,
keen
good,
to educate me.
good,
Why
good.
did you educate me?
That's advanced.
Very good. The Prophet allowed. He said, "In my ummah, in my community, there are people who are unlettered. They are weak. They're old, and they're little ones. They're people who cannot even pronounce properly. Right? These are statements the Prophet made about the people. Illiterate people. They're old people. We know there are people within several tribes within Arabia
People
who
are weak in
spoke
the mind.
Arabic. They could not. Let me finish. You said I want to educate you. Let me educate you then. They could
Okay, you've got
not.
30 more seconds to educate me.
Why?
Because I don't-
Why?
Because this is a debate.
level of ignorance.
And
It's not a
otherwise
debate.
it
He's making
turns
the
into-
point.
The level of your
otherwise-
learning is
no,
only
no.
30 seconds
It's-
worth.
No, because otherwise it turns into a
You can
monologue.
only
That's
learn-
He has to
unfair.
make the point to
That's
make it
not
clear.
fair. He's already made most
So
of the point.
no,
I
it's
get
gonna
his
be
fair.
point.
It's gonna be
I've
fair.
actually
You have
made
to
The
his
be
comprehension.
sides. Talking about fair.
Yeah, so he's actually done most of the talking.
The
He's
The
done
rest
most of
of
the
your
talking.
comprehension is only what? Up to 30 seconds. You can't understand it more than that.
No, if you
So
can't make
maybe,
your point
okay,
quickly,
so very good,
that-
very good.
No, no,
suggests
no.
that
Hang
you're
on. So now what I've learned is this.
not
What I will
I've
do,
got a good point
I
to
will
make.
make
That's what it suggests.
30-second points for each point I'm going to make. There's no points to make.
No, don't make 37 points. That's not right.
Right.
Can
So
I
the
come
first
back
point.
to you? Okay, so you-
no,
It's the Quran
no.
al-Kareem. Deal with it carefully.
So the Quran, the Prophet allowed because there are illiterate people, the weak people, the people who were unable to recite. So the Prophet allowed this
Sorry.
flexibility,
Just because
you're
you're
interrupting me when I'm
illiterate doesn't
explaining.
mean that you can't recite. It's not the point. Muhammad was
he was not making
and he
that point.
recited. Just because you're
No.
illiterate doesn't mean you can't recite.
He was making the
Why
point that
can
there are
an old
differences
person
amongst
not
people,
recite?
not
Okay.
that they
Why can't
can't.
a young person not recite?
Just to demonstrate to you, sorry, listen. My name is Mansur Ahmed. Can't tell what's my name exactly the way my name is to be pronounced. Mansur Ahmed.
So you're trying to get to a thing about this being about
No.
accents.
Not only
Excuse me.
accents.
Go ahead.
That's an example.
No. You said, why recitation? I will demonstrate to you.
This says.
Tell me my name back. Mansur
Mansur
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Say again?
Okay, but hang on, wait a minute.
Say again.
You guys.
Excuse me, listen.
Was I saying his name?
No.
Were you pretty
said
sure that I
Ahmed.
was saying his
No,
name?
you said Ahmed. My name is not Ahmed.
Did you agree that I was saying his name?
No, my name is not Ahmed.
Did you think I was saying something different to your name? No, you
What
knew
you recited.
that I was
Oh,
saying,
very good.
Yes.
Let me answer the question. No, let me finish.
You are saying it's
Listen,
about accent.
wait.
You are
No,
saying
it's partly about
accent,
Excuse me.
right?
No.
Okay, when this is about meaning,
Lizzie,
It's also about
differences
meaning.
are about meaning.
Every time you
when
get
you said, when I
refuted.
said Mansur Ahmed,
Say a
okay,
point
if I'd have said,
But
I don't
I want
know,
to come to this
Joe
again.
Blogs,
Lizzie, listen.
that's totally different.
Lizzie,
but you
listen.
can glean what I was meaning.
Lizzie,
This
excuse me.
shows, these differences show completely different meanings.
Okay, to my point, back to my point.
So I'm sorry, this point doesn't wash.
Lizzie.
It doesn't wash.
Listen.
It doesn't address the issue of the fact that there are different
finished?
meanings.
Have you
It
finished?
talks about different
I will
pronunciations.
make a
It
point
does
about
not address
meaning
the
in a
fact that there are different meanings in
Lizzie,
these texts.
you objected to the reasonings why the Prophet allowed the flexibility in reading it in seven ahruf. You said, oh, why would they have a problem with recitation? So you brought the recitation up. I didn't. You did.
No,
So
you told me. You
No,
told me that some
I
old
never
people
said
would
it
have
was
a
just
problem, that some
recitation.
young people would have a problem with
You see, you're
recitation.
confusing
She said,
ahruf and
so
text.
actually it was going to make different recitations from different people. That was the point that
You're
you were
confusing
making.
two different things.
listen,
You're confusing two.
recitation is not just recitation with accents, right?
Oh, so why did you do that exercise with me saying your name and then you said, oh, no, you didn't really say my name?
That was nothing to
Because
do with
my
accents.
accent was a bit
That was
different.
That was not your
I'll let
accent.
him
That
answer.
was
That was nothing to do with
illustrate your
accents.
point
No,
at
let him
all.
answer. Let him
So
answer.
that was nothing to do with accents. This is clearly your inability to pronounce certain letters properly. So my name is spelled. Let me finish.
Did I change
Listen.
the meaning? That didn't you
I
all
will
know
give
that it
an
was
example in
your
English.
name?
Example in
We all
English.
knew that it was
Okay,
your
here
name.
are two
I
words.
didn't say a different name.
Listen.
I didn't say Joe Blogs. I said
his
your
point
name.
would have been finished
I said
about
it-
30 seconds
I said
ago.
it slightly different. I would have finished. He would have finished point if he hadn't
I know, if you don't
raised
keep
this
interrupting, let him
example.
finish
I
the
was
point.
just
Hasn't even made the
demonstrating
point.
to you and educating you that certain peoples are incapable of uttering certain letters properly because just the way your vocal cord is trained. If you have enough training, perhaps you can. In Arabia, there are people whose vocal cord, like yours, were not accustomed.
This still
You interrupted
doesn't
me again halfway
address
through.
that the meaning is the thing that's
Lizzie,
the problem.
Lizzie.
It's not your vocal cords. It's not how you pronounce it.
Lizzie.
It's the fact that these words they
Regarding the
are
meaning.
totally
Regarding the
different.
meaning. Lizzie.
They're
No,
totally
just
different
same
in
word,
meaning.
same word.
It makes no difference.
Brother, please. You keep forgetting that the differences between the two recitations I haven't touched upon. And you keep saying, why are you talking about only pronunciation, which I am not? So if you are intelligently following this conversation through, I haven't specified the nature of the differences of the seven ahruf. What I was demonstrating to you, what the Prophet said. What the Prophet
You are
said.
looking at the English. You have to
Right.
wait. There are
What
differences
you're
in sounds
doing
and Arabic,
constantly again
but
and
they're very
again
similar. That's
is
the point.
trying to get
These
a
are not very
difference.
similar. These are totally
English,
different.
Lizzie.
These are totally
Lizzie,
different.
there are seven.
Yet you're claiming
In
you've got one
English,
point.
they're
You still have a
different.
huge problem.
You read them in Arabic, they are very So when the Prophet allowed them to recite Surah Al-Furqan, was this Surah Al-Furqan or Surah Al-Furqan number 2? Was this surah called Surah Furqan number 2, version 2, or Surah Al-Furqan?
The one with the Umar example.
When
the one with the
Umar
example.
bin al-Khattab and Hisham bin Hakim recited Surah Al-Furqan,
I've been honest with you. I don't speak Arabic, so let's just
I spoke
cut
English
to
to
the
you.
chase. Okay, you
I
just tell
spoke
me
English to
the
you.
numbers of the surah, please. Okay.
Surah 25.
Okay, thank you, Surah 25.
When Umar and Hisham, both of them, may Allah be pleased with them, when they recited Surah Al-Furqan, did Prophet say to them, this is Surah Al-Furqan, chapter 25, number 25a, and this is chapter 25b. Or did he say this is Surah Al-Furqan? This is the same surah.
I don't know. I wasn't
Same
there.
surah.
I wasn't there. But does it?
Our tradition tells
Yeah.
us it's the same surah of the same Quran. So you need to understand is this.
Yes,
There
but
is a-
he's told,
you're
he's
keep-
told
you're-
the house
you're-
people. Hang on. wrong. According to the House people, in Surah 2, Ayah 10, he said they lie. But according to the Ward people, Surah 2, Ayah 10 says they were
It is
lied
very
to.
difficult to speak to
That
people
is
who are
totally
really-
different.
I'll give her-
What's really difficult is that you do not want to confront this material. And you do not realise that this shows that the Quran has been totally corrupted,
one second.
totally changed.
Excuse me.
Your prophet had no idea what he was receiving,
No.
and he was
Don't-
unreliable in his transmission.
Lizzie,
say that you don't
Everything
understand.
is yet another piece of evidence to show that his prophethood is utterly called a
Lizzie,
Come on.
whatever the Quran
I'm
prophet-
sorry that you
Gibberish.
don't want to confront
So
Gibberish.
if Jesus gave you,
Gibberish.
if Jesus gave you a gospel that was written by St.
Jesus
John,
didn't give me a gospel.
If
The
Jesus-
gospel was written by his friends,
Listen.
written by
if
eyewitnesses.
Jesus
Not
uttered,
exclusively, but yes, it was
He
written
gave
by
you the
If-
gospel in his life.
if
That's well known.
Jesus-
he didn't transmit. This is
He gave the gospel in his life.
Listen,
Everybody else, I don't know what
if,
you're saying. What
if
phrase-
Jesus,
what
listen,
word gave you
I want you to understand the comparison. If Jesus spoke about the gospel, he
No,
taught
gave
the gospel,
The
right?
gospel was his life.
He gave the gospels, which was
Okay, you've gone into
wait,
Jesus now
wait.
because
No,
you're
no,
uncomfortable with
Oh,
this
come
material.
on.
Because
you
He's giving
are
an analogy.
failing to understand how this is one Quran.
No,
So
yeah,
when
it's because you
Excuse me.
absolutely cannot demonstrate
Listen.
that you've got one Quran. You
Listen.
cannot do
Listen.
it.
when
The
Jesus
definition of one
gave
Quran
you,
is that which is transmitted from Muhammad. That's the definition.
when Jesus
There is only
gave,
one
makes
such.
it one.
Yes,
Right.
Brother.
that makes it one.
when Jesus
That
taught the
makes it
gospel,
one.
taught the gospels.
Try to understand
The
that.
Gospels were written down by several of his disciples, right? Every disciples that write, is this a different gospel of Jesus or is it the same gospel of Jesus?
Yeah, but the difference between
What is yeah, but I don't understand. Is it the same gospel or a different gospel?
the thing is, you're
No, I want to understand.
You
When
believe-
several of the
Something
companions
falling out of the bag.
were transmitting what they directly learned from their master Jesus, right? They learned directly. When they are transmitting this gospel, is this gospel number 2, 3, 4, and so on, or is it the same gospel of Jesus? I want you to be clean and clear on this.
It's all the gospel of Jesus.
Is it one gospel or many gospels
No,
of
it's
Jesus?
four gospels. It's exactly
No, no.
four.
Is it the same gospel of Jesus?
How many gospels of
or-
Jesus are
Gospel. The gospel means good news account.
Is it the, listen,
How many pieces of good news are there?
Excuse me.
They're not all exactly the
But
same.
if it's written by
We don't-
him,
we
he's
don't
telling you
pretend.
if he's
Brother, please.
Okay. We don't-
Is this one
No, you're
gospel
not
of
letting me
Jesus
finish. You don't
or
pretend.
many gospels
We
of
don't
Jesus?
pretend that they're all written exactly the same. We don't pretend that. We don't make that claim. You claim that your Quran is one.
No. There's a mistake here.
So
Look.
actually,
The gospel, no. It says the gospel according to
I don't know
Mark.
about the Quran
The,
because
How many gospels
the
did Jesus
gospel
write?
according to
I've
Mark.
answered the question.
The gospel of
I've
the
answered the
gospel.
question.
How many gospels did Jesus write?
The gospel according to Mark.
We have four
The
written
gospel.
down. We have
Wait,
four
wait.
gospels written down.
Just to
parts of
clarify
the
this
canon,
point.
parts
How
of
many
the
gospel
canon.
did
They don't
Jesus preach?
exactly agree with each other
Excuse me.
because it's eyewitness.
Lizzie,
It's straight from history.
what's my question
So
about
I
you?
think
She knows
they're written from
Please.
four different
Let's have
perspectives.
one
They all
conversation
preach
and we all
exactly
listen,
the
right?
same
Jazakallahu
message.
khairan.
They all preach
Lizzie,
exactly the same message.
here is the question.
Okay.
How many gospels did Jesus preach? One or many?
Jesus. Right, you're confusing. Jesus preached one message, the gospel.
How
Which, by
many
the way,
So you
is everyone
believe?
that God loves you enough to come
Right.
to earth, and if you believe in Him,
brother,
says the
He
gospel
died
according
You
to
said
Luke.
you're going to listen, inshallah.
When he says
Right.
the gospel
Okay.
according to Luke, I'm talking
Okay.
about the, that gospel or not.
He preached one gospel message. Okay?
Please, brothers. So now, Lizzie,
But
as you have
Jesus
demonstrated,
but the gospels
as you
were
have
written
demonstrated-
by his disciples or eyewitnesses or close associates of the eyewitnesses, okay? And we have four of them. We don't pretend that
But this is
we don't
one
have
gospel of Jesus.
lots of different accounts like you have and pretend it's
Excuse me,
one.
Lizzie.
Okay, that's a totally
Lizzie,
different thing.
So you've just asserted
You're pretending
there
there's one
is
gospel, actually.
there is one
It says
gospel of
the
Jesus.
When
gospel.
did I ever say that? I didn't.
Did
I
you
said-
say one
The gospel writers say so.
Okay. How many gospels did Jesus preach? One or many? I'm asking you.
I don't know why you asked this again. I've answered your question.
Which is
I've
it? Which is
answered
it? One or many?
So the gospel message.
No,
that
not
he wants
message.
everyone-
No, not gospel message.
Yes.
How many gospels
Great,
did Jesus
you're giving
preach?
me a chance to preach again, which is the most wonderful thing. That if you trust in Jesus, this is the message. It's
Excuse me.
consistent.
How
against
many
all
gospels did Jesus preach? One or
He
many?
answered you. I think you're playing with words, man. You're very cleverly playing with words. You're very cleverly playing
The
with words.
message is
And she's trying to
exactly
get
the
through.
same.
I'm going to give you
It's
options.
exactly the same.
In fact, I'm going to give you
Yeah,
options.
it's exactly the same.
To my
across all-
question, how many gospels did Jesus preach? Option number A, one gospel. Option number two, two gospels. 3 or 4. Which one? I've given you 4 options.
Okay, You're confusing two things. You're confusing two things. The message of the gospel.
I'm not talking about message.
The message that
I ask you again, how many gospels did Jesus preach?
She's right. She's right in this.
No, she's not.
As you realize, the game is up. Your game is up. So now let's return to the
No,
Quran.
he just doesn't like my
Okay,
answer.
so let's return to the Quran.
Return to the Quran.
I think we understood. Your face tells me that you've understood this.
Return to the Quran.
So how does the Quran?
Absolutely, it doesn't
So now-
help your case.
so-
It does not help your case at all because I do not
So
claim
now, as you realise-
that those gospels
Lizzie.
have to be word for word the same. I do not claim that.
As you now
I
realize,
claim
okay.
that you have one perfectly preserved Quran. Okay, and apparently
Lizzie.
it's not that.
Lizzie, as you now realise,
Contradicted in your hadith by the 7 recitations, and it's contradicted by the evidence of history.
keep talking.
Okay.
You're never going to learn. What we establish is this. Just like Jesus preached one gospel to his different companions, they may have recollected it differently slightly here and there, but it is the same one gospel. Using your coherent and consistent argument, if you are going to take that for yourself, the Prophet taught one Quran, but he taught this one Quran in 7 ways of reading to his companions, and each of them transmitted. Because we have criteria of acceptability, if they meet 3 essential criteria, directly trace back to the Prophet in transmission. It is in one of the Rasam of Uthman that he sent to the provinces, and it is
Interesting,
and
but
it is-
Uthman had to
Stop,
burn the variant version.
Stop interrupting.
Why did you stop interrupting?
Stop interrupting when I'm making a point. Yeah. The third condition was it is acceptable in Arabic language. But the
Very interesting that he can interrupt me about
the
someone.
primary condition, the first condition is the transmission. As I said, these 10 readings have been authentically transmitted up to the Prophet. Each one of them is acceptable as Quranic readings to the Muslims. So Warsh that you are now giving me examples of, whether there's a difference between قاتل and قتل, يخدعون and يخادعون, ووصى and وأوصى.
It's written the same.
نغفر
All written the same.
You're interrupting when I'm making a point
They
again.
contradict each other.
Listen.
The variations in the
Listen.
Bible
Listen.
they contradict each other.
Be patient.
They contradict each other.
Listen.
Give an example of a contradiction.
Every
Fought and were killed.
Please.
There's no
There you go.
contradiction. There's no contradiction.
every
Why is that a
reading,
contradiction? You don't understand what the word
they are
contradiction means?
complementary. Hear the words from every single
Right.
Muslim scholar in planet Earth. They never contradict in meaning. Never contradict in meaning.
They are complementary.
You will never find.
Fought and were killed.
Listen.
I fight you.
Yeah.
I am killed.
Yeah,
You
you
can
can
get
fight
killed.
and then to be
Totally
killed.
You can
different.
fight and be killed.
Listen,
You can
wait.
you can fight and
When
be
you
killed.
fight, do you get killed?
You can. So what?
When people
where's the
fight-
One is active
Wait,
and one is passive.
Contradiction in meaning, right?
Different.
There's
You
no-
cannot be active
They
You
are
said-
not contradictory. though.
at the same time.
Lizzie, you seem to assume there's a contradiction in meaning. What we are saying is
There's
the Prophet
complementarity.
allowed the differences because it's all from him and they're complementary. If you one
not
if
contradictory.
one word you're going to learn from this conversation today, that these readings are complementary. When you fight each other in battle, you get killed and
Find
you
a
kill.
contradiction. I'm so
That's
sorry.
exactly the other
Find a
readings is
contradiction.
telling.
We punish and get punished.
Yeah, this.
There's another passive active thing. We
Yeah.
punish.
Where is the
get
contradiction in
active,
meaning?
Where is the
get
contradiction?
punished.
Where is the
Find a contradiction, dear girl. Find a
Okay,
contradiction.
does it mean the same thing if I
Yeah,
just put that in a
yes,
sentence?
yes.
Get punished.
They are
and be
complementary
punished?
meanings. They're complementary.
When God says, for example,
We punish
listen.
children when they are naughty.
Listen.
The
When
children
God
get
says,
punished when they are naughty. What's the difference in
God
meaning?
forgives you, or He, God, because now God is referring to Himself as a pronoun, He forgives you. Who forgives? It's God. So God can speak in the third person or in the first person. Is this contradictory? What kind of English are you
Find
talking
an example that's not touching
The
at
thing
straws.
is, the point is that my eternity isn't dependent on whether or not the 4 gospel writers said everything in exactly the same way. Your eternity is based on the trustworthiness of this man receiving directly
you talking
from
about
Allah.
trustworthiness?
Yeah?
Our eternity depends on the forgiveness
Do you
of
trust
Allah.
Jesus?
Divine words that you Muslims have argued. No, hang on. Can I just finish my conversation? Right. That Muslims have argued for years and years that we trust the Quran.
Do you trust Jesus?
Because the Quran has never been changed.
In
Okay?
summary,
it's eternal.
can I-
Whereas your Bible has
Absolutely.
loads of changes in it.
It's not
Our
been
Quran
changed.
has
Quran
never
has
been
been
changed.
changed.
Not one change.
And I was going to demonstrate that to you,
And
which you
no,
did not allow me.
I am showing you example.
I am
after
about to
example
demonstrate
of how
that the Quran was not changed.
So
and
in
your
summary-
eternity isn't dependent on that.
What's the-
My
in
eternity
summary,
is
You are not
dependent
accepting a
on-
word that has three ways to read,
Okay,
but you accept a God that has three different.
That's a different. That's a
It's-
whole other
that's-
afternoon.
Lizzie,
you can watch my video with
Lizzie,
Mansur on that.
Lizzie,
I'm not going to have it.
Lizzie, do you trust Jesus, the one man, the one God?
Oh gosh, here we go.
Do you trust him?
Okay, all right. You've had enough of talking about this.
No, I'm not finished yet. I want to talk about the preservation of the Quran. I want to talk about the myth of the 26th Quran.
because you
No,
told
no,
him you don't
if
trust
you're really afraid to talk about the 26th Quran, maybe get your teacher over
You
here.
wanted to suddenly talk
Excuse me.
about Jesus and man and the Trinity
Douglas,
and all this stuff.
do you
and
bring
I'm
your
not going to
teacher
talk
over
about
here?
that today.
Your Jesus.
Your boss has been giving you all this myth.
I don't have a boss.
This is your opportunity to learn.
Boss lives in
It's not
Cambridge.
even a boss. And a boss doesn't read Arabic. This is Bernie Power's work.
Ah,
This is Bernie Power's work.
do you admit to that? Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know.
Anyway. So what we were demonstrating is this: the Quran has not been changed, and how we were going to do this
How
is this.
can you say that after all of this?
Lizzie.
How can you say this? You can go and get your only
how?
thing about these 26 Qurans is
Do you know
got it in
how?
red and blue. The differences between this one and that one. There are changes
Lizzie.
absolutely all over it.
Lizzie, listen.
You cannot say anymore that your Quran has not been changed.
Lizzie.
It's simply false.
Lizzie, listen.
And
Are you going to listen?
No, I'm just because.
Are you going to listen to let me clarify
your
to you?
religion
It
is-
has
that you
the
can-
same
Wait,
writing.
Your
Brother,
religion
please,
is based
Do it
on
again,
the
bro.
perfect preservation and perfect wisdom of this text.
Lizzie,
and it's been totally
You
changed.
keep waffling the same thing that you're talking about. You're not engaging with it. So what I'm saying is engage with it. Engage.
I am
Look,
engaging with it.
I have
You
look.
just don't like the material.
No,
You
no.
just don't like it.
No,
It's making
you
me
don't like the
very
material. Do you know
uncomfortable.
why? How many differences do you know? Only a few.
Okay, but we've only just got them.
No, no,
the
no,
research
no, no.
is just beginning. There's going to be
False.
100%
False. Lie. I'm not going to say false anymore. Lie. Blatant lie. The research is not a beginning. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, let me show you that. This education needs to be done to you, right? Okay. These are tabulated tables, of course, tables of the 10 readings of the reading of Hafs in this column, beginning of chapter 1 to all the way to the end of the Quran, right? And this is Riwayah of Shu'bah. Hafs was one of the transmitter of Asim, and his fellow student was Shu'bah.
There's differences.
Excuse me,
There are differences, but you still can't
Lizzie.
say there's one Quran. You just can't do
Lizzie.
it. You cannot do it.
Lizzie, brother, what I am educating you on this is this. Your myth of research is going to be put in the bin, down the drain. Do you know why?
Let's see
Do you know
about
why? Do you know why? Because these research that you're talking about, from your ignorance now being enlightening of our tradition, this has been done. Let me
Notice
finish.
how
Let
he
me finish.
insults me
Let
because he's
finish.
panicking. He's panicking, so you
Yes. Do you know why?
He's
Do you know
trembling.
why I have to say that?
Tell me when I've insulted you.
Listen.
I don't insult you.
The only
You just
way
don't
you
like
can
my-
respond back
you
is
don't
by
like my
saying ad hominem
material,
attacks.
Okay?
Lizzie,
So you shouldn't be giving me
Lizzie,
ad hominem attacks.
what I am showing
both
to you
know
is
that that's
this.
not the way to go. is it?
Refutation number 3, that there will be more research. Brother, please. Brother, and you, brother, as well, please, right? I'm trying. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Refutation number 3 or 4, right? Your myth of learning and discovering and new research about the differences, it's going to remain a dream forever. Do you know why it's going to remain a dream forever?
Well, like I said, let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see.
Because this has already been done for thousands of years by the Muslims. As an example, I'm going to give it to you
So
now.
why
Let me
do
finish.
they go on saying there's one Quran if they know the that strikes
Lizzie,
me quite deceitful.
Every time I correct you,
strikes me
you
as
admit I'm corrected, and then say, why? So,
But it's one Quran when it plainly isn't.
Lizzie.
That strikes me as that
Lizzie.
your teachers are not
so,
very
so,
trustworthy.
so you agree that your hope or your dream of research and finding new readings is never going to materialize. Why?
don't agree with that.
Why?
I don't
Because
disagree with that.
this has already been done. I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm going to
Okay,
talk
there's the
about.
Hafs and the Warsh, but what about the differences with the others? What about with the other Qurans?
You have no patience, do you? Look how big my folder is.
Yeah, I'm just giving.
Just look how big my folder is. So this is Hafs and Shu'bah. This goes all the way. Obviously, I didn't bring all of it. I brought one page to show to you that books exist long before you even came into Islamic apologetics. Yeah? Long before you were even born. Okay? So I'm not making you into a child. I'm saying long before you were born, these differences were tabulated for every single differences they read.
My
Have you
point
finished?
again,
No, I have
why
not
do you
finished.
say there's only one Quran?
I haven't finished
we
yet.
Haven't. We know about these differences, and yet
Lizzie.
we've allowed our teachers to teach all you guys to effectively lie to
Lizzie.
you and say there is one Quran.
Lizzie, we talked about why one Quran. I refuted you, and I debunked your claim, and then, right.
It's
Then,
not convincing.
Lizzie, now to move on to educate you. Look,
The
this is
gospel message has not changed.
Lizzie,
Jesus loves you, God loves
Lizzie,
you, He
Lizzie.
died for you, and you
this
can have peace with
sidetracking
him
is
if
not
you
gonna
believe in
it's
him.
not gonna help. Why?
And repent
Because the
and believe.
Quran is
He
preserved,
loves you that
and
much.
we will demonstrate to you even
And I'll
to
say that to you guys,
listen.
because he loves you.
Do you know
He
how the
loves you
Quran is
too.
preserved? Even to the ah sound and the oo sound.
Right? So the earliest Qurans, did they have vowelizations? Did they have that?
Because the earliest Qurans was
No, that's news to me.
listen. When the Quran
I
was
didn't think that was true.
listen, when the Quran was written, do you know why the Quran was written without the vowel signs?
So you're saying, you just made some vowels, I don't know Arabic, but that sounded like vowels to me.
I
Okay,
just
and
said
you're saying it's been
every
preserved
reader.
even with the vowels, and actually the earliest manuscripts don't have the vowelizations.
So how do
So
we
how
know?
can you say it's been preserved with those vowelizations?
Thank you very much. We've made so far. Right now, this is the question that you should be asking. How do we know? Listen.
Let him answer it.
How do we know that even the ah sound and the oo sound is preserved? And that's why I'm going to come back to this in a second. That's why I was showing you these tables, which you were running away from. So this is a table of.
I'm not running. No, I've got them. I've got
Wait,
them, hopefully.
wait,
I've got
wait,
them
wait.
right here. I don't want to run away from it at all. You want to run away from the
listen.
fact that they show that there's
Can
no
I
one
finish?
Quran, that
Can
they
I
have
finish?
two versions.
Can I-
At least two versions of the Quran.
Can I finish now? Thank you very much. Because you asked the question, how do we know they are preserved? Now, one of the readings has been transmitted by, like these teachers, they have two students, transmitters. And they have further transmission.
Yes, you've said this point loads of times, and all of
I haven't finished. You keep interrupting every single time. And you never learn.
It's because
You
they had
never
true
learn
characters,
in
real
this
true
sitting.
characters. None of us can say that
Excuse
we've
me.
got a perfectly true character,
Listen.
and yet somehow you
Maybe
just
they have
take
the
it
Holy
as
Spirit.
read.
Can you allow
You just take it as read.
Are you going to allow me to make my point?
You're not convincing me.
And then
We're
you
going
can
back
ask
over the
whatever
same
you want.
points.
I haven't
Thing is,
finished
Mansur,
though.
you're going over the same
Lizzie,
points.
not convincing.
You keep on rudely interrupting when I'm about to make a point.
It's definitely not convincing.
Yes? You don't find it convincing?
No, I don't
because
either.
You interrupt when I'm trying to make a point.
Because you're making the same points again.
I haven't made a point.
And they're not convincing. You're saying, we've got the differences here. And then you're still saying they're one Quran.
You will
Can I
I'm
look
coming
at your
back
source?
to you. I'm
You'll
coming back
never
to you
Can I have a look at your
saying-
source,
I'm
please?
coming back to you saying, you see, it's not one Quran.
in
Yes,
Arabic.
it is
I
one
wanna see
Quran.
the
So we're
source.
going around in circles because you
Lizzie,
cannot.
Lizzie,
I
listen.
don't think anybody's
Listen.
convinced that you
Listen.
just have one
Can I have a
Quran.
look at the
Recorded,
source, please?
They're gonna get really bored with you. So don't make people to say how boring you are. Have a nice
Another
discussion.
ad hominem. How many ad hominems have we had today, Mansur?
Okay,
You're not
okay,
normally
fine.
like this. Be nice today.
Lizzie,
Okay, please.
Lizzie, do you watch
I
any?
don't do this to
Okay.
you. Don't do it to me.
Okay, Lizzie, do you watch any of these videos? Sometimes. Do you read the comments? Do you read the
I try
comments?
not to.
Read the comments.
I try not to.
Then you'll realize why I'm saying this.
Yeah, no, I think the
Right?
people who write
Do you know
the
how many comments I had to delete, which were done to you? Very bad,
comments-
good comments.
Yes, now I wonder who
Wait,
wrote
wait.
those comments.
Very silly people, very emotionally mad people. But why am I making this comment? Because of the way you behave in our discussion. So I am saying is this. Let me make my point. Don't make it boring to the people who read this. Right. Okay.
I've not raised my voice.
No, you don't allow it. That's why. You don't allow it.
You know what? Since you haven't read,
I
next
just
time.
challenged you on your points. and
Listen,
that's fair enough.
next time, I would not delete these comments until you've read them. Then I perhaps will delete them, with your permission, right? And I'll leave them, all these F words and B words and whatever words, I'll leave them perhaps. Because people think so highly of you. So my point is this.
I'm not under that impression. I'm
Listen,
not under that impression.
listen.
Don't worry.
Lizzie.
But it concerns me.
Lizzie,
that suddenly you
Lizzie,
think
hello?
that
You're
it'll make
running
your
away from the
argument
subject.
better. It'll make your
You're-
argument better by
Lizzie,
leaving nasty
you're-
comments about me on the
You're
Insta. I think
running
that's-
away from the subject.
That's a very
So you
interesting
said,
line.
how do we know that this is preserved? So I'm giving you, this is an example of a reading from one of the 10 readings. His students, there are 4 main students, Abu Tahir,
Yeah, you've told me this again.
I haven't told you. I haven't mentioned the name Abu Tahir before.
Every time you mention something.
Subhanallah, I haven't mentioned Abu Tahir before. So I'm not the first time or second time now.
Okay, you know
I'm
what?
telling you. Lizzie,
I'm not going to go because the thing is,
Lizzie, you need an education.
Stay. I want to listen to this. I want to listen to the source.
Thank you, Gary.
No, stay. I want to listen to the stay. I want to listen
Right.
to the source as well.
Thanks, Gary. the good
So,
guy.
so like, let's listen to the source.
Right. So how do we know?
But you're not going to get the answer that way. So let's listen to the source.
It's not giving me a convincing answer, and I've been here.
Yeah, let's have a
trying
listen to the source.
Right. So now,
Have you been brainwashed?
Lizzie? Okay.
So I'm sorry.
Listen. So now,
This one again.
here,
Okay, there's not.
Lizzie,
one Quran.
listen. If you are
No, there is.
incapable
That's
of,
absolutely true.
Okay.
if you are incapable of it,
Don't teach
get your
anybody
teacher.
Or listen
Get
to
your teacher.
anybody
You know what?
who tells you.
Sorry, I'll
there's
cut the
only one
jokes.
Quran.
Get your teacher. Maybe I can give you
More
the
than one
information.
Quran.
Muslims, I'm sorry, you've been lied to. There's
Excuse me.
not one Quran.
Listen, oh, now you're waffling again. When the evidence is about to be presented, you keep on waffling. Okay, brother. Okay, Gary. So what I was saying is, how do we know the Quran is preserved even to the A sound and the U sound? Yes. Right. From this 10, oh, she's now disappearing.
Hey, come back here, lady.
She can't handle the evidence. We have this transmission taught by the Prophet directly to his companions, who taught their students, and all the way back to us. We have this unbroken chain of transmission. It is not one man. The Prophet taught one man who taught another man, and like this. No. These are multiple chains of transmission. An example here is this. When the Prophet taught, one of these imams who learned from him once to the Prophet, he had 4 turuq, of 4 students who translated the Quran. I said here, Al-Fil, Zara'an, Abu Tahir, and Hashimi. We know that these students, how they transmitted, very diligently, every single point, whether they differed or not. The table is too small because of the huge.
Okay, let me ask you.
I am not finished. Let me ask you.
No, but listen.
No. Let me finish.
Did you listen to
I have to listen to reply.
Have you got
Gary,
documentation
don't
inside?
do the same thing.
Right, go on, let me
Right,
listen.
thank you, Gary.
And how long is it going to be?
Not very long if you don't
Okay,
interrupt.
okay, good.
If you interrupt, it will be much longer like Lizzie.
No, okay, we got
Right.
30 seconds.
So there's more than 40 or 50 transmission
Yes.
from this one of the reading Hafs from his teacher Asim. We know how one of the word, the only noticeable difference that is allowed from this more than 45 transmissions, chains of transmission, Da'f and Du'af, the A sound and the U sound. And we know that they both learnt, all of them learnt these both of the readings, Da'f and Du'af. So the reading of Hafs and
30
Asim,
seconds ago.
you're doing the same thing
You said
again.
you're giving 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
You decided to
So
give
what?
30
Who-
seconds.
But we can't have.
You decided
No,
to
we can't have a conversation with you.
Are you going to make an exit?
Yes.
Yeah,
Why?
because you're doing exactly the same thing. Oh, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know, but we
Since
have to have
when-
a time limit, don't we?
Excuse me,
No,
since
don't
when-
we agree we have to have a dialogue?
Gary,
We need a dialogue, don't we?
since when I
You
agreed
give
to a
me a
30 second
monologue.
Gary, since when I agreed to a 30 second time limit?
What I said.
I didn't agree.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I'm now
Okay,
saying
okay.
it's my turn.
Okay, you
Talk,
speak
you
10
talk.
seconds.
Doesn't
It's my turn now.
Your turn. I give you 10
Exit in the arena.
Okay, your turn.
Put it on camera, he's gone.
I give you 10 seconds.
Huh?
I'm giving you 10
Right,
seconds.
okay, so go.
10,
Okay.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more 2, 1, 0. You're finished. Now can I talk?
Now
You did exactly the same
Mayweather,
thing.
will me knock
Don't
you
talk
out
about
in 10
Mayweather.
seconds.
Don't talk about Mayweather.
Right?
Once
So,
Mayweather goes,
hold
let
on
you
a
anything.
second. Stop
I don't
a
want to
minute.
hold on.
Have you got your
You're
documentation?
Here, you're here talking. I'll give you 30 seconds.
Stop.
You
We
don't
have
wanna
to get
talk.
documentation.
Gary,
man.
Gary,
Because he
Gary, I don't
said
wanna talk.
he's got
Gary, I
transmissions
don't want to talk.
from various.
You're listening to reply,
colleagues.
not listening to
Let's-
learn.
Let's see him then. Ulka
Let's see him, he will show you
was,
it.
I mean, Ulka was a photocopy.
Gary, stop
of
attention
whatever
seeking.
document it was.
Stop attention.